And good morning, Hoosier fans, to another disappointing, aggravating edition of the Hoosier Morning After show. What a mixed bag we had last night. Hoosiers go on to lose it 74-62. It makes Indiana's record now 15-8 on the season, 5-7, in the Big Ten. Such a such a crazy afternoon, crazy game, and everything. So much build-up emotion going into it, so much excitement. All the rumors about Coach being back. Everyone was excited for that. We were cautious for that because we've heard that a few other games before. But just you started to see all the big names that were going to be there. Mark Cuban, Sage Steele, all the players, ex-players. Ticket prices went up. Everything just seemed like it was headed that way to a big, amazing game. Students showed up. Students, good job. If any of you listen to this, thank you. Good job. Keep with them, at least. I know it's frustrating. It's hard in these kind of circumstances. But keep with the players. It couldn't get back into it. Stage was set. Crowd was there. Everyone was excited. Everyone wanted something to cheer about, wanted something to explode. And I'll give it to Purdue. They did a good job against us. They game planned against us. They played hard. They played strong. They played a good, tough Big Ten game. Could have been more fouls called, I believe, in my mind. But that's Big Ten play. Got to play on, got to keep playing, play through that contact, play through what you're given. But yeah, the crowd just took them out of it. First half, I believe, was fairly good and back and forth. IU was able to execute well inside out for the most part on some plays. Play really went kind of back and forth up until about the 3-minute mark. You kind of saw that then at the 3-minute mark. We were tied with them at that point, I believe 28-28. And then we go the very last 3 minutes without a single basket and allow them to get a lead to go into second half. Second half, just we come out again flat. Not much dishes inside, just not playing our game. Lucky thing was a few little runs here and there by IU. They obviously get up at least by 15 at some point. Good thing is IU fights back for the most part. I mean, you look at this at the 10-minute mark, and I'd even made a comment on my notes. 10-minute mark, 50 scores 56-48, and I said, crowd is in it. Who wants it? Calling out the players. Who wants this game? Who wants to win? And I could feel like we had a good chance at it at that point. Trace Jackson Davis then gets fouled, makes his free throws. Then we have a good defensive stand where they miss a layup. Jerome Hunter gets the rebound. Trace misses a jumper. Go back, defensive rebound. They miss a jumper. Justin Smith gets the rebound, takes it down, a little bit of play, good back and forth between him and Jerome leads to a Justin layup. That's when it gets to 56-50, the closest the game will ever be from that point on. And that was a big time moment right there in the game. That was a moment of we could win this game, crowd's back in it, everyone's energized, everyone's excited, and what do we go down? Trace goes in soft on the block. Harms blocks him. They get the ball. Luckily, Rob forces a turnover. Then Jerome Hunter misses a jumper. That Purdue gets the ball. Foul on Trace Jackson Davis. Harms makes a layup. It just from there then builds. Keep missing. Missed 3-pointer. foul, missed three-pointer, foul, IU, missed three-pointer. So it just built from there. And suddenly just all that I just said, the 3 missed threes and a missed jumper, and the score is still 50 IU, and it's now up to 63 Purdue. So a big missed opportunity there. And it's tough to look at the stats of this game because the stats, albeit take away the turnovers that IU had, are not necessarily horrible stats. Turnovers and just the field goal percentage. So 14 turnovers and shot 43% from the field, 33 from three. At least our free throw rate was 78. So at least that was good. But those are the numbers that stand out as not good numbers. And those are the numbers you clean up. Get that ball in the hoop more and take care of the ball more. And I think we won this game. It's frustrating in the moment, and I think some of it is worn off, to really get aggravated by this game. And I was. I've calmed down a little bit from that. It's frustrating and unacceptable as to not being able to continue this, continuing this bad play, I should say. But then I look at it and I look back to the games that we have won, the tough games that we've won. And in those games, we've had one player step up and score big numbers and have a big game themselves. And games like this, we just kind of have lackluster medium scoring between everyone. So to me, what that says is that this team is just missing that one-star scoring player that can go out there and get a lot of baskets for you on the night. I know Trace Jackson Davis is close to that. He's almost that. But he's still a freshman figuring things out. He's doing great. He's a great player. And he's by far our best player and our best scorer. But I still see some freshman woes in him. He lacks that second level of aggressiveness that I would like to see out of him. Again, I know it's tough. I'm not saying that he's doing anything bad per se. And if I was sitting here talking to him, I would say something like, just be tough, be strong. And I know he would say something like, yes, I'm trying, I'm fighting what I can. And I know he is. And it's that tough move for a player like him to go from high school where he can dominate and he's physically just bigger and stronger, and then add in his great skills than everyone else that he's ever going to face in high school. And then to go to college basketball and play against guys that are 3-4 years older than you and a lot bigger than you and stronger than you, especially in a conference like the Big Ten, where that is a very tough pill to swallow because it's a very physical league, and a league where if you played like this, and we'll see it in the tournament, when we get to there, ACC and SEC games are not as brutal under the basket. They still have some of their games, yes, and I know they have strong guys, but it's not as brutal as it is in the Big Ten. And it's going to be interesting to see how that play is called once we get to the tournament. There could be some teams that had struggled to adapt to that. If we get in the tournament, I hate that I have to say that now. I'm not as confident about us in the tournament at this point. But that kind of play could benefit us. Because, again, something that we have lost that we had at the beginning of the year. We've lost two things that are very important from the beginning of the year that allowed us to have success. And again, if that kind of thing turned, I believe we could see better results. The aggressiveness that got us to the basket a lot more and got us to being the number one free throw attempt team in the country. We need to get back to that. And that could happen in a tournament type setting where the foul calling is going to be a little different. A little bit more is going to be called. That and just our overall just aggressiveness to dominate the boards. We haven't been there as much, and I think with that aggressiveness, scoring-wise, will come as well. One of my biggest griefs on this game was the offensive rebounding. We only had 8 offensive rebounds. We had 20 defensive rebounds, so that was good. But I felt like a lot of the times the guys were getting back. Guys were getting back too soon on offense to get set for defense. I wanted to see guys in there fighting. I wanted to see Justin Smith in there battling to get more offensive rebounds. He had 1 offensive rebound. I know he's fast and quick enough to get back to his man. I want to see him flying in there fighting for those offensive rebounds in these games. I think that's something that could be improved upon dramatically and help us. Again, when you look at the points off turnovers for IU 11 to their 17. So, I mean, Purdue had 12 turnovers to our 14 turnovers. So the stats weren't too terribly off between each other. And you also feel like since we didn't get a lot of good offensive rebounds, that we got beat on that for second chance points. But Purdue as well only got 8 offensive rebounds. We got 8 as well. They only had 7 points off second chance. We had 12. So it's weird. It's one of those games that just leaves you speechless again. And I do not envy Coach Miller in this. I don't call for his firing at this point. I still think there is just some tough roster issues that he has to deal with in this. And I know can be something that you can blame on the coach. I don't think yet. I think after year 4 or 5, you can start blaming that on the coach, the roster makeup. It's also, again, a hard thing to do as a coach, is that roster makeup with it used to be a lot easier to recruit for IU. There were many big schools, IU was among them, and a lot of the smaller ones didn't have much stake in getting recruits and looking at them. Now with the internet, access to communication with players and everything, smaller teams, a lot more teams could be a lot more active in recruiting guys. Talent is spread out a lot more than it used to be. It used to be you'd see masses of talent in main schools only, and not as much distribution of it as you see now. So it's tough. You want to shoot for the big players, but you also need to shoot for players that you know you can keep in the system, can grow old, because that shows a lot of success. That shows success down the road. I think IU is built with, right now on the roster, some good success down the road. Where they are built right now with players is a jagged edge, I believe. And one side is great success, and the other side is struggles. And we're teetering on both sides of that razor edge. And it, night in, night out, something can click, something can feel different, and we can go one way or the other on that. And sadly, we've been going mostly one way on that meter. So I'm not going to pretend to know what to do, because I'm not in the practices. I haven't seen what Archie is trying to do with these guys, what he's doing to motivate them, what he's doing to try to get them play harder, to play more physical. He says that they're making shots in practice. So the shots are going down in practice, but for some reason that's not translating to games. Who knows why? Guys just not stepping up. Guys being cautious when it comes to game time. I don't know. It's a tough nut to crack. We don't have the full story. We don't have all the pieces. We can look at what we see in games and how they interact and everything, and try to decipher what we can from that. One of the bigger things and problems that I constantly see with that is one of my biggest beefs about the team last year is that they're quiet. Again, if you've heard me say a million times, and I'm sorry if I'm a broken record with it, but this team lacks that bulldog again. I don't see who that bulldog is. Thought it was Race. He's working injured, and he's young in the program, so I don't think he feels like he can speak up verbally. I think we might see that from him down the road. Also thought that was Joey. We've seen it a little bit. But I just want to see someone in a huddle, and granted, maybe they are, I just don't see it on the TV, but I want to see that one player in there just screaming at his teammates, let's go, we got this. At that moment when IU was 56 to 50, 6 points away, I wanted to see that fire. I wanted to see that there was a player yelling at his teammates, let's go, let's get going. One of the captains, Devontae Green, Al Durham. Al Durham can be that guy. Just hollering at them. We've got this. We're at home. See what's happening. Look at this crowd. Look at what they want from us. Look at what they're ready to do. They're ready to explode for us. They're going to give all the energy for us. Let's fight for this. Let's win this game. And if that's happening, good. I have not seen that. I don't know. People listening here, comment below. Let me know if you're at the games and you've seen this kind of thing happen. Because again, I'm a slave to what I am shown on the TV, so I don't see completely all of it. But yeah, luckily we have one more home game before we go on the road against Iowa, and Iowa's a good team. They've got a very good big man, one of the better players in the Big Ten, in Garza. Our bigs need to step up to this. Our guards need to play a little better. Play better on defense. Fight through screens. Get to shooters. I'm not ready to jump ship for this year. Again, I'm a player. I'm a fan player. I could never be a player. I'm a fan that will always be there cheering on. Despite what my blood pressure wants, I will always be there cheering on. So let's support them. Let's be there. If you're in Bloomington, show up again. Still try to hit them with energy. The last thing a team like this that's struggling needs is the fan base to turn on them as well. Because right now their game is turning on them. Their play is turning on them. They can't get that ball in the basket. People are talking about this season's over. It's going to fail. Blah, blah, blah. No chance of the tournament and stuff like that. If we think that mentality as fans, that's going to get infectious to the players. So we need to stay positive as fans. We need to fight as fans. We comment here on this side, and you see on Twitter that we don't see enough heart and effort and go from the team. We have to show that as well as fans. We have to show heart. We have to be infectious for this team. I wish I lived close enough to Bloomington. I would love to go to these games and yell and scream and fight for these guys because they need us to help them jumpstart. They're struggling. Let's not add to that struggle. The obvious shifting then, would be remiss if I don't also talk about the big other thing that happened at the game last night. It was amazing. Coach Knight back in Assembly Hall. This is something that needed to happen. His health has been declining. His move back to Bloomington, you could see that he likes this town. He likes this university. It's been reported many a times that there's been bad blood. It's like a bad breakup, bad relationship. One person in the relationship did something they shouldn't, so it caused a bad breakup. Then things get said back and forth for a while, and time can cool those things and heal the hurt of small moments that happen and allow you to look past those and look at the great things that happened and the great times that were had. And I know that, like I said, it's been reported many times that Coach Knight, I think, was hesitating coming back because he didn't think the fans wanted him back. And I applaud Hoosier Hysterics. I think had a big step in this because their little event that they did, sounds like I'm turning it down, their event that they did at the Bluebird, and having Coach there, getting Coach to come there, and Coach seeing that reception that he received from the fans, I think was a large stepping stone to what we saw yesterday of him walking on the court. He needed that push to show that the fan base was ready. We were ready as Hoosier Nation to see him walk on that court again. Thank you to ESPN to taking that time. They knew the weight of that situation, and thank you to them for allowing that moment to air and be shared with Hoosiers across the country. I know there were a lot of older Hoosier fans that were very happy to see that happen. I myself was floored watching him walk on to the court. Tough to see him in his physical state. Each step seemed labored to a degree. He seemed hesitant at first. A few little waves as he walked onto the center court. Very reserved still. Coach, good chance of Bobby. Then the players came over and joined him. Saw great shots of Isaiah with tears in his eyes. Once they embraced him, and then you heard the crowd start to cheer, "Thank you, Coach." You could see that weight come off his shoulders. You could see him turn back into Coach. Because then he started to give one of the other players, I forgot who it was. I couldn't recognize him from the video on the TV screen, but started to screw around with some of the players, was yelling, "Play defense," one of his many staples. And then he goes over to the sideline and tussles around a little bit with Dickie V. That was great to see. And then gets the crowd going with the defense chant. And you saw that light turn on his face again. That was great to see. A lot of tears were shed for Hoosier Nation at that point. Happy tears were shed in this moment. And it's great that he gets that curtain call. Unfinished business is done. Hatchet is buried. There's not that looming stigma in the program that one of its most successful times and successful coaches left on bad grounds and never came back. He came back. He got his curtain call. He got his cheers. And thank you for that. Everyone that was involved in getting that to happen, thank you. Thank you, Coach, for being strong enough to put your emotions aside and your anger and your frustration with how things happened and come back and do that for us as fans. It feels good Now we just need to get the program going the way it needs to be. And again, I'm not ready to jump ship. There's potential in a lot of the players that you see out there. It's going to be a build. I feel like this team can get older, they can get better. Get old, stay old kind of thing. I'm always happy with that. I'm always happy with a team that's going to be like that. Then you feel more invested in the players. You feel a relationship with the players. Never am I ever going to be a fan of a team that's full of one and dones. You feel like you're a revolving door. You're a stepping stone that these players can step on you and your program to just get to the next level. I will always be in it for a team full of old, skilled players that respect and know and love the program that they're playing for. I believe we are headed that way. And it's tough to weather the storm till we get there. And if we're not there by year 5, year 6 of Miller's coaching career, then yeah, we can talk about things at that point. But let's stay supportive. This year is not at all written in stone yet. There's still chances. There's still moments to be had. We've seen good glimpses of this team. They can get back to it. We just need to stick with them as a fan base and fight for them. So that's going to be it for this edition. Follow me on Twitter, guys, at General Chadwick. Stay positive. Put this one behind us. I hate that I've had to say that way too many times, but let's put them behind us. Let's keep going. Yesterday was a good day for at least one reason as an IU fan. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Go Hoosiers.